This is one of the later style pots. It's called a Comet style pot. You have two controls right here. This control controls the mouthpiece. This one controls the liquid metal that's in the crucible itself. This one has a sensor that goes around and it's physically in the metal. This one has a sensor from this side that goes around into the mouthpiece. Now inside this cover, there's a micro switch on each side that the sensor, when it gets hot enough, it comes over and it hits the micro switch and it shuts the current off to the heaters so that it stays at the same temperature. Down in this box, there's two relays. One relay goes to the mouthpiece, one relay goes to the pot. So these micro switches control the relays. So when they close a relay, they send current through to the set of heaters for that part. Or if the other one closes, there's a set of heaters here. On this particular model, there's 4 heaters. There's 2 physically in the metal, and there's one top and one bottom of the mouthpiece. And you can have one heater go bad on each one, and it still produce a decent slug, except it just takes a lot longer to heat up. And this up here, it'll heat up in slower time, but as you cast, it'll start getting cold, and you have to wait for it to heat back up again. It won't recover quick enough without both heaters working. Same here, it won't recover quick enough. Now, there's other style pots that were made over the years. The older machines, first ones came out, had General Electric pot and General Electric controls. And they had a box up here that you would adjust this with. And some of these had a rheostat over on the side where you would turn a knob. The next one that came along had one control up here that controlled the liquid metal. And then it had a control over by the operator's knee on the right side of the keyboard to control the mouthpiece. Now, in these, they had different heaters. This one has cow rod heaters that are probably 1,000 watt each in the liquid metal, and it has an aluminum encased heater on top and bottom. Some of the older ones were sheet metal. They had sheet metal encased heaters in here, sheet metal heaters encased top and bottom. Then there was another style that had cow rod heaters here, and then had cow rod heaters up here on each side of it that went down to the bottom and the top. So depending on what style heaters you have, is on this one, you can actually change the heaters without taking the pot apart. On the older styles, you actually had to take the cover off and sometimes the crucible out to get to the heaters to change them if anything happened to them. The relays in here are probably not available anymore. We do have alternatives that you can put in that we actually get from Granger, which I can give people the number for if they ever run into that problem. The problem is finding the heaters, the right ones, because a lot of these parts are gone. I do still have a lot of heaters, and there's still some other people around that have some, but they're getting few and far between.